for Sean Mackie to strike! It's Calvin Miller up against McGowan. Miller sends it in! It's Miller time, baby! Champions again! Falkirk have broken through the glass ceiling! After 15 years in the wilderness, Falkirk Football Club is once again a Premiership club!
This is Falkirk Daft.
With Behind the Wall, we're navy blue, are you?
Well, the good times don't last forever as Falkirk Daft defeat for the first time what seems like an absolute age. Still, it's only 2 defeats in 10 and it's not bad going for League One Falkirk, especially in the Premiership. Hello and welcome to Falkirk Daft, your unofficial Falkirk FC podcast. I am Sean Mackie and I'm joined by the Ginger God of Pod himself, it's Ross Wayne.
Good evening, sir. You doing alright?
Yeah, just honestly, it's weekend 1 of December and I'm already struggling. It's been one of those festive kind of days. So it was at a lunch on Friday, Saturday. I had my cousin's 40th party. Happy birthday to Neil Leishman. Should put that in birthday corner. He's a jambo though, so don't worry, he won't listen to this. And then, yeah, so I didn't make the game because of that yesterday, so watched it on the Magic Telly. And then Sunday, Sunday has been a day of walking dogs, washing dogs, Christmas tree shopping. In-laws were over for my daughter's birthday, and it's just been mental. So yes, it's been one of those days. So
You're going to work tomorrow for a rest.
pretty much. But then my Mondays are always mad as well. Anyway, enough of my moaning. How are you, Ross? You all right?
Not too bad, mate. Yeah, similar to yourself. It just feels like it's been a bit of a busy one. Bit of a chilled Friday, to be fair. I think from memory. Yesterday was obviously through to Edinburgh for the game, and then today, as you've said about some Christmassy stuff, we had the panto through Stirling, which was very, very good.
Oh no, you didn't.
Oh yes, I did.
Oh, there you go. Where did you go? Where was the panto?
It was the one that threw at the McRoberts Centre.
I used to go to that one. That used to be Christmas Eve tradition, and now I have to admit, every Christmas Eve now we go to the dark side and go to the Alhambra and Dunfermline for the panto there every Christmas Eve.
All right, okay. I think we need to have a chat about that.
I know, we go that. I have to say, it's a very good panel. They always put on a good thing. But that's our kind of Christmas Eve tradition with my cousins' kids and their kids and stuff. So we always go there on a Christmas Eve for the old panel. But yeah, it does, having to cross over the murky waters of the Forth and into that place is always a bit daunting, especially on Christmas Eve.
Well, that's true.
Yes. So it's been one of those, I'm sure everyone's like at that exact same reason as us. Like it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas parties all over the place, and then it's just so busy. It's just so busy. God,
that is, mate.
Couple old men here just moaning about it.
Moaning old buggers, that's what we are.
Yeah.
No, listen, I love, you know me, I'm a Christmas guy. I do love Christmas, but it is so busy everywhere. The traffic shit as well. And the only thing to add to that today is the weather has been absolute guff. And it's been tipping it down all day. And I looked at the forecast, and it's to be like this for like the next fortnight.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
Joys.
Yes. Bloody Scrooge here, that's it. But I know, listen, yes, I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas time as well. But let's talk a wee bit. Obviously, you were at the match yesterday, Ross. Good away day. You switched it up. You went to the Guildford Arms rather than the Artisan. Wow.
Yeah, we did. Do you know, in hindsight though, just because Edinburgh, you know what Edinburgh's like at December, John, it's like heaving anyway, right? So absolutely everywhere you went was just absolutely chocker. So in hindsight, probably going to like one place and staying there probably would have been the better idea, because we did hit the Guildford Arms to begin with. Loads of Bairns fans in there, a lot of the Elliot's crew who would normally, I assume, get the bus, got the train through, so they boys were in there. Ross Miller, Drew McLeish, Tam Anderson, all these boys, minus Smudger. I noticed Smudger wasn't there yesterday. I'm not sure what he was up to, but they boys were all in the Guildford as well. So yeah, it was really busy. Big Falkirk crowd were through. Where did we go after that? The Penny Black.
Aye.
It's the old Black Bull.
The old Black Bull, I love that pub.
Yeah. And then by the time we left there, we didn't have the time pre-match to go to the Artisan, so just headed down to Easter Road. But yeah, really big Falkirk crowd through, but Edinburgh was heaving.
Of course, it's Christmas markets. I hate Christmas markets. So expensive, and you just stand about freezing your box off. Honestly, detest Christmas markets. I'm starting to sound more like Scrooge the more this. And once we get into the game, I'll turn into Mega Scrooge. But there we go. It's no for me, Christmas markets, I have to say. You know what it is for me, and there's a link for you. Chance to win tickets to see Scott Arfield and Russell Latipi in Shire on the 28th of February. You've got a competition up running on our socials just now. You might have seen it. Just retweet the post that we put out. We'll pin that to the top of our Twitter/X feed. And on Facebook, it's a like and share competition there. So we'll be drawing that on next week's show. That'll be our Hearts review show, so we'll be doing that next Sunday. So like and share away if you want the chance to win 2 tickets worth £65 a pop for the Scott Arfield and Russell Latipi night on the 28th at the Shire. Should be a good night, Ross.
Yes, really looking forward to it. Do you know what, the pair of them have got so much to talk about from their Falkirk careers. Scotty from more than one occasion now, which is brilliant. And Russell had, you could argue, he's one of his most successful stints as a footballer. Certainly, I believe he played the most appearances for any one club as Falkirk. Yeah. So, which is phenomenal. So yeah, the amount of stories the pair of them are going to have, both in terms of being playing together, but also prior to that as well. And I'm sure the pair of them will have. I'm hoping a few shareable stories about the likes of Yogi and Anthony Stokes and all the usual nonsense that we get some tidbits from, whether it's the Falkirk Daft meets that we have on the podcast or the guys who we have along at the live events as well.
Yeah, no, looking forward to it. It should be a cracking night. So yeah, that's 28th and at the Shire. Keep an eye on, and as we've said previously, it's not the charlatan that organised it before. This is kosher. Scott Arfield himself is involved with it, and the guys organise it are from a reputable events company. So all good there. So I hopefully see you down there. Good Christmas present if you're struggling for that Falkirk Bairn. And if you are struggling at Falkirk Bairn in your life, remember merch.falkirkdaft.co.uk for all your Falkirk Daft merch needs. There you go. FSS have been in touch just with the monthly comps. Obviously, if you're a member of the FSS, you get entered every month for a monthly comp. It's the first time we've heard from them in a wee while, so thanks for the guys getting back in touch with that, Ryan at the FSS. So the boardroom experience winner was David Goldie. He's off to see the Bairns hospitality style. Ross can tell him all about that. Alexander Mulhall is winning a £30 voucher for Behind the Wall, of course, our sponsors. And there's a Pie Sports voucher going to Scott Logan as well. So that is your winners for this month. And remember, get signed up to the FSS. We always say if you're not a member, it's so important to take the club forward. You see the likes of where St Mirren and Motherwell are. We can be there too. We can establish ourselves as a Premiership side, and back in the FSS is the only way really to do that until we get Shakira coming along and ploughing lots of money into the club. And I don't know why I just picked Shakira out the top of my head there, but yeah, once Shakira,
that was the most random person that you could have thought.
Yeah, once Shakira comes in and puts in the cash to the Bairns, we're going to be absolutely minted. She must have a fair bob, Shakira.
Well, yeah, probably. But I'm thinking now after his love of football or soccer, as they say over that way, maybe Donald Trump fancies dipping his toe into the football market.
Well, he's got that Scottish connection. I don't want Donald Trump associated with our club. Thank you very much. We'll just keep our distance from the Trump Meister. Listen, before we get into the game, let's go straight into Birthday Corner. And Kevin Pepper, Salty's been back in touch with us. We were wishing him a happy birthday the other week there, and he is saying, hi guys, can you wish Ryan Pepper a happy 16th birthday? And that's on the 9th of December. That's from all the family. No dogs, unfortunately, but that's from all the family. So happy birthday, Ryan.
Do you think Ryan's nickname at school was Salty as well?
Oh, Salty Junior, 100%. Absolutely 100%. Where'd you go? I mean, where else do you go when you've got the name Pepper? Where else do you go?
Has
do you
to be that, surely.
Spicy, or do you call him Spicy, or I don't know, Peppy, maybe, I don't know. I don't know where you go with that. There you go. But aye, let us know what your nickname was. I'm pretty sure it'll be Salty Junior. I'm very much suspecting that's what it'll be. But aye, happy birthday, Ryan. Birthdays, Bairns' birthdays this week. On the 9th, it is Lee Mayer. Remember we had Lee Mayer?
Yes.
I can't remember if he was on loan from Dundee or if we signed him permanently.
No, I can't either, but I do remember him playing. That was the sort of 2001 period. We weren't great.
It was. I remember the first couple of games, it was absolutely awful. So it was like Lee Nightmare, we used to call him.
I was about to say his nickname was definitely Night, wasn't it? So
yeah.
On the
11th, Invincible himself, Ola Lawal, turning 24. Ola Lawal.
Do you know? Where is he playing now? I've not access to
do you know what? I'm doing a quick Google to see where Ola is now. Where is he? Where is he now? Ola Boston Lawal. Marine Football Club. That was September 2024. Telford United. No, that's not right. That's a different Ola. So I'm saying Marine Football Club is where Ola might be now. I don't know what Marine Football Club are, but he is there now. I'd love Ola. Remember that goal he scored against Alloa? That just wee dip of the shoulder.
It was nice. It was a very sexy goal. It was a very sexy goal. He and obviously who can forget? He's
at Telford United now. He's at Telford
United. Right,
so I don't even know what league they're in now.
Doesn't sound like the well.
I think they might be in the National League North.
All right, okay. So that's not too bad then. The National League. Yeah, but who can forget his undercover stint up at Cove?
When he celebrated when we won, that was amazing.
That was the best. Just high-fiving all the Falkirk players at the tunnel. And then what was it? The next day was released by mutual consent.
That was amazing. Good chat. Well, his birthday is on the 11th, and he shares his birthday with the one and only tremendous arse himself, Henry Cartwright's turning 21 on the 11th.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he? Right, okay. So that's next Thursday. Right,
that's next Thursday. So happy birthday, Henry, when it comes, and happy birthday to your tremendous arse as well. On the 12th, and I'll put this in just for basically my own reasons, because my birthday's on the 12th. So I had a dig out. I was like, Stuart Wheatley, never seen him play. He's 76. I don't even know if he's still alive. I hope he is, but I don't remember him for the Bairns, obviously way before my time, but he shares his birthday with me, so I was like, I'm putting it in because
I think he maybe was he not meant to be a guest at the 1876 lounge earlier this season?
Right, yeah, was he? Right, okay, well,
I think so.
I'm just going to do a quick Google because I'm scared that I can't find anything about Stuart Wheatley, but happy birthday, Stuart, if you're still with us. I'm sure he is.
Imagine if he was in the lounge against Hearts next week. How spooky would that be?
would be. Jamie Wilson, mind him? Terrible striker that played for us. We signed him from Dumbarton. Big lad.
Yes,
he is 28, and when he arrived at us, he looked about 44. So the fact that he's 28 and still kicking a ball, he's playing in Australia. I did a bit of research because I wonder if he's still playing, and he is. He's over in Australia playing for some team in Melbourne that isn't the big team in Melbourne. So,
I thought you were going to say check see if he was still alive.
No. He was an old-looking man. Was Jamie Wilson when he played for us?
Yeah, but was that not a Gary Holt 2-year deal special?
Yeah, it was. It was dreadful signing. Chris Waddle. He only played 4 games for us, but listen,
still,
we're taking it. 65 on the 14th, alongside Bairns' favourite Scott Sloan turns 58 on the 14th as well.
Well, I loved Scotty Sloan. Loved him.
A lot of players, fans did, and obviously Chris Waddle, unbelievable time to be alive when Chris Waddle turned up at Brockville, scoring in his debut against Clydebank. Unbelievable scenes.
It was amazing.
Unbelievable. Was it Clydebank? It was Clydebank, right?
Yeah. From memory, he played against
East Fife.
Clydebank. I want to say Airdrie and St Mirren away.
Yeah, there you go. Unbelievable. Watching Chris Waddle in a Falkirk shirt was what a time to be alive. Unbelievable stuff. But there you go. That's all the birthdays for this week. Not much happening on the club front. Philip Lisa named Player of the Month for November. Absolutely 100% deserved, because, as I said in the last podcast, all I want for Christmas is Philip Lisa.
Listen, more than I agree with you. It was tremendous. There were a few others who potentially could have nicked it off him, but like Calvin Miller, like his November was
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
out of this world. But I am more than happy for Mr. Lissa to get the award, and very well deserved. I take it he will receive that after the Hearts game, maybe in the fan zone. They tend to do that, don't they?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Although by the time the Hearts game finishes, it's going to be like midnight, so maybe not.
That's very, very true. So, well done, Phil. Tremendous work, and I do love you. Before we move on to looking back at Hibs, let's talk about behind the wall. Loads of stuff going on there. It's the festive period, so the pubs are snowed out in Falkirk at the moment. So you know where to go. Behind the Wall is Falkirk's premier pub, and of course, the host of the Falkirk Daft Venom. And they're celebrating their 40th year, and they've just celebrated the 40th birthday party there. Can't believe Behind the Wall still can't get over the fact that it's 40 years old. Unbelievable.
I know. It's true, mate.
I've been drinking for a lot of it.
Yes, we have. All above order and legal age, obviously.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. A couple of things going on there on 7th of December, so probably you've missed that because that's today. But on the 22nd of December, that's Santa parties. There's still tickets for the Santa parties going on there. Definitely Oasis is the night of the Hearts game, so I doubt many Bairns will be making it along to that. Babs at Christmas is now sold out, everyone. So if you wanted to go and see Barbara Bryceland at Behind the Wall, bad news for you. 21st of December, Babs is now sold out. But there is, however, good news for you, Ross. The Cowboy Christmas Hoedown line dancing is happening.
God. It's back, is it?
It's 14th of December, so get your Stetson back out again, Ross, and get your arse down to Behind the Wall on the 14th of December for a wee bit of a hoolie and a wee bit of a line dance. You know, what's that one? The House of Bamboo. Yeah, they seem to do a lot of line dances to that. You aware of that song? No,
that's a new one on me.
The House of Bamboo. That's the big one at the Christmas parties this year. So get your Stetson looked out for that, Ross. And if you want to check out any other events happening, behindthewall.co.uk is where you want to head. And obviously they've got brilliant food on there. Recommend it. We were eating there before Falkirk Daft Live. Tremendous. And as well as the Falkirk Daft Venom, we've got fine wines, lagers, craft and cask ales. Loads of good booze on it Behind the Wall. So get yourself down there to celebrate the festive season. Right, that's us for the club news. That's us for the sponsors. Let's talk Hibs now, and we're going to do it in the company of our guest this week. His name is Evan Balfour.
All right, lads, how's them?
You all right, mate? How's things?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
Mate, you have a striking resemblance for Sean Mackie.
He does, doesn't he? If you're not...
I get it all the time. Yeah, I've had that ever since Sean signed with us. Yeah, it's always. I was devastated when we put him out on loan at the start of the season. He's my favourite player.
Oh, it's because he's your brother.
Yeah,
clearly.
exactly. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Love that. I know if you're watching the visual version, if you're listening to an audio, that Evan does have a striking resemblance with that lovely blonde brushed hair of Sean. Do you wear a hairband? I mean, Sean at the end of his was sort of had the hairband. If you play fives or sevens, are you a hairband kind of guy?
Well, when I was at uni, so I played with Strathclyde Uni, and we play like Glasgow Amies leagues on a Saturday, and they hated uni boys as it is, and then I rocked up wearing a headband and just gave them even more ammunition to slate me for 90 minutes. So yeah, I do have to wear a headband, sadly.
Brilliant. Love it. Listen, we'll ask you, you're a debut to Falkirk Daft here today, Evan. We'll ask you, how did you end up supporting Falkirk?
Well, just through my dad. I've always lived in Falkirk growing up. Dad was a Falkirk fan. My granddad was a Falkirk fan. Yeah, been going to games ever since. I think my first season ticket was maybe 4 or 5 years old. So that would have been probably the 04-05 season. So yeah, and just been at it ever since.
Brilliant.
Tremendous. And we're going to ask you a random question from our list from the Falkirk Daft bucket hat. And that question today is, what's your favourite Falkirk match of all time? Go, Evan.
Oh man, that's
quite a few to choose from in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, there's been so many good ones. I've actually got to go Hamilton last season, I think. that's tough to beat. The emotion of that day, yeah, tough to beat that.
I don't think you'll have many people arguing against that, Evan. What a shout, what a shout. But let's talk Hibs. You two were both there. I watched on Falkirk TV. Going into the game, obviously, the mad bastard that was John McGlynn on Wednesday there when he went absolutely mental, went 4-2-2-2. We were back to a very similar shape to what we're used to with this Mr. Glenn. 4 changes to the side. Brian Graham coming back in up front. Ethan Williams, Calvin Miller, and Ethan Ross coming on rather than Kyrell Wilson. Ross, surprised at that?
A little bit, yeah. We saw the team coming through at back of two, and that was the name that everyone was kind of going, okay. To be fair, like, I don't think Kyrell's necessarily played badly, because I think he's been pretty consistent at doing Kyrell things. He's fast, he's quick, he's a nuisance. He'll get good crosses in. He's obviously not scored in a while. But Ethan came in, and we'll get to it as we go through the game. But a lot of our good stuff came through Ethan Ross. So again, another inspired decision by Mr. McGlynn.
Yeah, what did you make of the starting 11, Evan? Were you happy with was there any changes you would have made?
No, I was happy with it. I thought obviously he went with Lissa at centre back and Alan right back on Wednesday, but so I guess it shouldn't have been really a surprise. But I was maybe slightly surprised not to see Alan back at centre back with Lissa right back. But no real complaints. I think Wilson's been great, but Ethan Ross got to get him game time really if we're going to get him back to his best. So yeah, had to throw him in there at some point, and obviously he did well going forward, as you said.
Yeah. One change I thought he might have had as well, or kept inside, was Henry Cartwright, and maybe he had Dylan Tate. I mean, Henry Carter, we'll talk again later on about he had a bit of an impact when he came on, and I thought he made a big difference. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen it, by the way, Henry Cartwright, we mentioned him, obviously it's the 21st this week, but Leicester City put up a little kind of 20-minute video about kind of Henry Cartwright. It was brilliant. Loved watching that. Really, really interesting. And you know, I think, you know, I thought for maybe Hibs away, it's maybe a game, or certainly away at these kind of, you know, hard places to go. I think that's when Henry probably comes into his own and what the job that he does. But yeah, I mean, obviously Dylan Tate, you know, we'll talk about him in a minute as well. Didn't have the greatest of games either. So I wonder if going forward you'll look at that. But you know,
John, I think the issue yesterday was Dylan obviously got a very early booking, right, which changed Dylan's game. And I've seen a bit of criticism in the last 24 hours about Dylan. I think we also need to bear in mind, and this is not just for Dylan, this is for a few of the players, Brad as well. This was their third game in 6 days, and I think you could tell a few of the players were looking a bit leggy. And it's not. Listen, I'm not making an excuse. Hibs won the game fair and square. They scored 3 goals. We didn't score any. So, but we did look quite leggy. And see, just going back to the fullback, because I know Evan said there about Connor Allen. I'm not convinced that works, Connor, at right back. I think I would far prefer him back into the centre back position where he had been really shining. I'm sure Lissa can play right back as well, as Evans just said. So maybe we'll see that. In case, well, Adams might be back. Keelan might be back for next Saturday, which then takes that question away. But
then what do you do? What do you do with Lissa? Because Lissa doesn't drop out the side. Does McCann get dropped out the side? I mean, what do you do there?
Listen, it's a tough one. I'm sure Evan would agree. Like, McCann didn't have a bad game either yesterday. Put some really good crosses in. He got up and down the wing. Defensively was sound as well. So it's a tough choice to have, but it's a good one to have as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there wasn't we're talking obviously. You know, three games in 6 days is hard on any team, you know, and obviously with a lot of changes on Wednesday, but it was never going to go 4-2-2-2 away against Hibs. It was always going to be back to kind of old faithful in terms of formation. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. we're obviously recording this podcast, and I've not got much to say about the game because I don't think, from Falkirk's perspective, there's much to say. Because as you said, Ross, we did look leady. There was a lot of players that were off the boil. I think, and we just didn't. It was just like it was what I guess we've obviously come up from the championship, and that performance and the performance away at Tynecastle, or the two, and probably Celtic, you can say Celtic as well, is the most championship, if you know what I mean, the most championship performances that I've seen from the side, if you know what I'm sort of saying there. So, like, there was not much to say. We just weren't at it. Certainly that first half. Second half was a different story, but that first half, there was just miles off it. I thought we were absolutely miles off it.
And I wouldn't actually put it quite in the same tier as the Hearts game and the Celtic game, because I feel like we barely had a
Yeah.
sniff in those games, whereas we did at least have that period in the second half in this game, and it was a significant period
Yeah,
of
yeah.
sustained pressure. And had we been able to nick a goal, I think it would have been a completely different end to the game. But yeah, we obviously were well beaten in the end.
Yeah, we talk about Ethan Ross's goal in just a bit, but yeah, in the first half, Ross. I mean, the only real thing we did was that we flick from Brian Graham when he kind of, which would have been beautiful if it had come off, but it just goes to show you Brian Graham's experience, and just that's the kind of stuff he can do.
Yeah, so that would have been a really nice goal if that one went in, and it was very close to going in. It was a brilliant save by the keeper. The only other bit of interest we had in front of goal was obviously Brad had a bit of a light effort from the edge of the box, and I actually see watching it back in the highlights. I do wonder if Ethan Williams might have done a bit better. I know it was a really tight angle. I know I get that, right? But even if he just whacked it towards the keeper, and I think it was Rocky Bashiri was on the line, you never know what could ricochet off either of them. So for me, that was a bit of a missed opportunity, because he was still maybe a foot and a half to 2 feet off the byline. I think he could have maybe done a little bit better there, but it's easy to say for the stands. But it wasn't, there wasn't a lot to go on in the first half, and Hibs, we gave them too much space, unfortunately. Probably respected them. This is going to sound daft, but respected them maybe too much. I think they were there to be got at. Like Evan said, we it was all us for 20-25 minutes. Had we started like that, you never know.
Yeah, no complaints about the penalty, Evan.
Nah, not for it was a penalty for me. I know. I think on Sports Scene, was it Richard Foster? He said he didn't think it was a penalty, which I was quite surprised that it looked pretty clear cut to me. But yeah, it showed how easy it was in that first half to play through our midfield. Watching it back, I think both Spencer and Tate get sucked completely out wide, and Mulligan's free in the middle, and then yeah, nice free ball. And yeah, clear. Lissa's unlucky, but looked a clear penalty to me.
I've not seen Sports Scene back, so I've not heard Ricky Foster. I'm gonna agree with Scott Bain though. I don't know if you saw Scott Bain's first reaction, and he was doing the diving emoji to the ref. I think, listen, Boyle's an experienced striker, right? He's a bit. Listen, we've had them at Falkirk as well. The guys know if you get the slightest of touches, they're going down.
Just ask Dylan Tate about that.
Well, listen, Dylan's brilliant at getting fouls, of course he is, but I just think I don't know where Evan was sitting. We were lower tier, and right, like our seats were right next to the segregation bit, right? So I was practically as good a view as we could have got. I thought if there was a touch, it was bloody light.
I'll be honest with you, it was a definite penalty. I don't think there's any denying it was.
I've not seen it back. I've not seen it back.
Right, if you've not seen it back, go and watch it. I don't know
Yeah.
what Ricky Foster's saying, but it was a definite penalty. So I mean, there was a VAR check, and I was just like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's a penalty.
Do you know what I thought the VAR trick was for though? Was for simulation, because I genuinely thought at the time, I thought he's dived for that,
Yeah.
and I thought what, and that was the other thing. Why did they go to VAR? Because I know it always gets checked by VAR, right? But should they have? Like if the ref's given a penalty, why do they need to check it for a penalty? Surely they're checking to see if it was a simulation or not. No.
Yeah, no, they'll always check it. They'll always check it just to make sure there's not messed up. But it was for me, it was a definite penalty. And then obviously we're hoping to hold it down to 1-0, get into half time. And they just scored that horrible time just before half time. Again, a bit of a mess at the back. Calvin Miller getting caught dawdling a bit on the ball, trying to get out and take nothing away from Kieran Bowie's finish. It was a very good finish. And I mean, I don't think you might disagree, Ross, but I don't think Scott Brain could do much about that.
No, no. Listen, it was a very good finish. Scott Bain was probably in a really good position for it to like he wasn't over to one side too heavily. As you said though, just defensively, we just didn't close them down. I think there was two players. Again, I'll need to watch it back to see which two they were, but there was two players who just sort of just gave him the freedom of Easter Road, unfortunately, to get a strike away. It was like it all happened in slow motion though. And that was the frustration for me.
Leon was one of those said players. I can't remember who the other one was, but Leon.
Yeah, it just felt like
Ethan Ross and Leon. There's a bit of a mix up there, and just gave him too much space.
Yeah, and there you go. There's two players who've not played a lot recently or played together recently. So listen, it's maybe just a communication thing as well. But as you said, John, just a real shit time to lose a goal, because you think if 1-0 half time, John's going to have words with them. The team come out as they did in the second half, and it's only 1-0. You then get a goal, it's game on. But 2-0, it's a bit of a mountain. And obviously, I know we'll come to the goal that was chopped off, but you just felt we needed an early goal to kind of, what can we do the rest of the game if we can get one?
Yeah. Two changes at half time, probably the right two changes. Obviously, we're picking up a lot of yellow cards in that first half. So Dylan Tate hooked at half time and replaced by Henry Cartwright. Brian Graham, I thought unlucky, obviously. I just wasn't Brian's day, wasn't getting much service. So obviously the change was to bring Alfie in. And obviously, again, impact that Alfie has off the bench, Ross. We started off really bright. Just a lot of balls started looking to go long and then over the top for Alfie and using his physicality and pace, and we started off that second half really well.
No, we did. We had 25 minutes, and if there was a team that was going to look like scoring potentially one goal or even two, it was going to be Falkirk. They couldn't handle the pace that we now had up front. I did hear, I don't know where I've read it, but I think John McGlynn said Brian Graham's picked up a knock, so Christ, I hope it's not serious. I hope it's not serious, because that's another bloody injury we've got. Although I do see Brian Graham has made it to Dublin.
I did see a picture of the ball on the pitch in Dublin, so it can't be that bad an injury if he's managed over to Dublin.
Yeah, it can't be that bad. But yeah, they couldn't live with us. Alfie was just a right nuisance. He obviously had that very early chance where he absolutely skied it over the bar when he was through, and I think I know it's easy to say for the stands, right, when you've got 20,000 people watching you, but that I think when he's in a really good position in the box like that, having done so well to get himself into that position, it was a shame that the chance was pretty much wasted, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, Alfie caused all sorts of problems, and as did Ethan Ross. Evan, I thought he really came into his own in that second half.
Yeah, he definitely did, and I was glad to see it, because I did think in that first half, going back the way defensively, because I actually think Kyrell Wilson, one of his strongest traits is sort of going back the way and the defensive work he puts in, and I felt at times in that first half, Ethan maybe wasn't great defensively, but yeah, second half he came alive and gave him a lot of problems. There was the shot he had, I think it was just before the disallowed goal, which was a great save from their keeper. And yeah, it was sort of flashes of him back to his best, which was good to see.
I agree with that, Evan. See that one where he was running down our left wing and then cuts inside with the right. It was just like that was a trademark sort of Ethan Ross.
Yeah. Good save. It was a cracking save from Salinger, to be fair, and it would have been such an Ethan Ross goal, like just that whole cutting inside. That's what Ethan Ross specialises in. Almost had this goal though, and this is the terrible thing about VAR. I saw the goal and I didn't even celebrate it, because I saw it immediately and I was like, "That's offside." And God knows how long they took so long to get to the decision. And when you actually look back at it, it was quite tight. But I mean, it was offside. You can't argue with the lines that are drawn, really.
I was quite hopeful though at the game, and I'll tell you why. Because the lino was of no question that it was onside. Because I'm sitting looking at the lino thinking, oh, he's going to flag here, and then he didn't. He ran back to the halfway line, so I'm thinking, all right, okay, this is going to be good here. And then obviously, as I say, I've not seen the lines being drawn, but it sounds like it is tight. I think you're the same though. There was a bit of a cheer, but there wasn't really full scale celebrations that we're back in it.
It's shite, isn't it? I mean, it is absolutely shite that you can't celebrate, a goal without the fear of it just getting chopped. I mean, that's the good thing about the Championship. Obviously, there's no VAR there, but there's been a couple of moments like that I've not celebrated goals because of the VAR. I think actually the Shank one, when we went ahead against Denmark, I didn't celebrate that because I thought that's offside or there's been a foul in the build-up because suddenly everyone's pointing and stuff like that, and it's just shite. You can't celebrate a goal.
We have obviously done quite well from VAR decisions this year, right? And I know I probably sound like a broken record, especially when David Martindale's involved. But listen, some weekends you're a bug. Some weekends you're the windscreen. So we've been the bug this week. But we are going to have weekends like that where, like the handball, like I don't know if we're about to talk about the handball, but I thought that was a pen. He stuck his arm out. I know VAR's looked at it and said there's no pen, but for me that was a penalty kick.
Yeah. What did you make of that, Evan?
Well, I was claiming for it at the time, but I've not really seen anything since in the replays or anything
I think I wouldn't, as much as you'd want it to be a pen. I don't think it was.
Did you not stick his arm out though? Because I thought he had stuck his arm out, and that was why it was obviously the huge calls for it. But was it not that bad?
It looked quite close to his body, and he was quite close to the ball as well. It's one if it had been given against us, you'd be raging. But you
just don't know with the rules of these. I mean, the big thing that would happen if we'd managed to get to 2-1, I think we'd go on to get a point because at that point we were in the ascendancy, and it's just that the third circuit obviously made the changes. I think that disrupted the system a wee bit as well. Randomly, Sam Hart came off the bench, and I don't understand why, and then got put in it right back. It was like weird.
I have a theory. I've got a theory.
But you can understand Wilson. You understand Wilson and Arfield coming on because that's the shouts I would have been making for as well.
Yeah.
But Sam Hart, come on. I mean, Connor Allen, in fairness, must have been absolutely shattered because he ran the length of himself on Wednesday, and he's back out at right back again there. But like Sam Hart was a strange one.
That was my thinking at the time. Like, is it Connor Allen related in terms of like he's just absolutely done it? Now we need to bear in mind with Connor Allen that he didn't have a break at the international break period either. Yeah. He played 2 games for Scotland there, so he's not really had any sort of rest period. Sam Hart, I know we're fast forwarding to the end of the game, but Sam Hart chucking his shirt into the crowd at the end of the game. Is he away? Is that his last performance in a Falkirk shirt? Is he going back early? Very, very odd situation. I'm not convinced John McGlynn's that sentimental that he would give him minutes just because it was his last game, but very, very weird.
He's certainly in Dublin. I saw a picture of him in Dublin.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he probably went away for the thing, but like, why would you do that now when we've still got games in December? It was, wasn't it? Like,
we were all discussing it at the time. We were like, "What's going on there?" And we were trying to think. We were like, "Do the players normally give their jerseys away?" And it's like, no, I don't think they do. So
was it Arfield, Evan? Was it Scotty Arfield that was pushing him towards the crowd? Was that there was someone?
I didn't see that, but it may well have. Yeah.
He seems to be a very popular guy around the dressing room, Sam Hart, to be fair. You see that actually on the bench, the kind of camaraderie he has with the rest of the subs and stuff. So he seems really popular. And like I say, randomly bumped into him when I was leaving the stadium once, and he seemed a really nice fella. I was up for a
Was
laugh.
that the day when you told him he had a good game and he never got on?
Aye. I said, it was just that general, well played, kind of thing. So, you had about the same minutes as I did. But no, I'll be interested to see what happens there. I'll be interested to see. But you wouldn't think it would be until January. We've still got a few games in between now and January.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if we'll
We're
find out.
baffled.
I'm sure.
We don't know.
No, listen, I'm sure John McGlynn may mention it. If he is indeed not going to be playing any part in the next 3 games, I'm sure John McGlynn will mention it on Falkirk TV. But from Sam's perspective, it is a random one to be giving your shirt away when you've still got games left for the club.
Yeah, strange one. What, talking about shirts though, what about the kit clash? Why didn't we wear a away top? It was a bit of a kit clash, was there no? I mean, for people who are colourblind especially, it was quite, hard to... It was not hard, but at the same time, surely just throw on the away kit.
To be fair, it was bad. Like, and the lights at Easter Road weren't the best either. I found it difficult at points because literally, see if you were to squint. I know you're not squinting normally, but like literally, the color of the socks was the only real difference between the kits. Because the home kits are like Hibs kit is really dark this year. It's not as if it's light green, it's like a dark green. Both had white shorts on. Both have got white sleeves. The refs obviously approved it, but it is a bit odd. And it was tough. Evan, did you feel the same when you were watching it?
Yeah, I had not much to add to that. It was a weird decision. I don't know why they went ahead with that, but yeah, I can't think of what Hibs away kit looks like off the top of my head because I know there's a
I
lot
think
of
it was
white in our
yellow.
away
Did they not
kit.
wear yellow? I think
Yeah,
Hibs wore yellow against us at Falkirk.
aye, that probably would have been the best bet to be honest. Yeah.
Strange one. Anyway, we not only after we make the changes, we go 3-0 down. I think the changes just disrupted the flow of things, and then again, just a goal, just a poor goal to lose again defensively. I thought again, Scott Bain not at fault. He hasn't been at fault for any goal really this season, apart from maybe the third against Celtic. But again, just defensively, just not cutting out crosses, and Kieran Bowie's there with a tap in really.
Do you know at the time we were pressing John. We were trying.
Yeah,
to
I
get
mean
a
they hit
goal.
us in the break, and
Yeah, and Hibs are pretty quick going forward. Like they did break well.
yeah.
Bit of a weird atmosphere at Easter Road. I thought, considering there was 20,000 there, like Hibs fans are really quiet. Like fair play again to the Falkirk fans who were like they literally sang again from like 92 minutes or whatever it was. I love Easter Road because I think it's such a quality stadium, but it was quiet. I don't know whether Hibs fans just kind of took the game as a routine. Maybe they did.
Yeah,
But
judging by some of the comments on our Twitter page, they seem to think it was. We'll get into the fans' comments in a minute. But yeah, it was. I thought like in terms of Hibs, I have to say I thought Josh Mulligan was exceptional in the middle of that part. I thought he ran that midfield. I thought Brad had a very off game yesterday. I thought some of his passing was a bit slack. There was moments from Brad, but I do think Josh Mulligan ran that midfield on Saturday.
it was very good. Obviously, sorry, Evan, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, no, he was he was fantastic. Yeah, absolutely run the show. I think that's why Cartwright was so good when he came on because he could actually match him, physically, and really help to power us forward at moments in that second half. But yeah, I guess from a Scotland perspective, I hope Mulligan keeps it up because he looked a really quality player.
I think there's a very good chance if he does keep it up, he'll be on that plane, and I don't think he'll be at Hibs next season either because like you say, I think Evan Cartwright's a very similar kind of player. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, wins the ball, carries the ball well, and Cartwright's that kind of player for us. I would like to see Henry Cartwright. I mean, he obviously started on Wednesday there, but I would like to see him starting that midfield with Brad Spencer because I think it lets Brad, because Dylan, as much as I love Dylan and I do, like in terms of, I think I mentioned it just lets Brad be a bit more Brad when you've got Henry on alongside him, especially when you're away from home. When I think you see Dylan and Brad kind of switch roles, like one will drop, one will go, one will drop, and they just kind of switch. But I think when you've got Henry in there, you know, he'll just sit and let Brad just do Brad things. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I would like to see Henry get a kind of more of a run in the team.
I thought Henry did very well.
I thought he did. Yeah, I thought he did. Yeah, I thought he made a big difference when he came on at halftime.
Yeah, and just while we're talking about you going back to what you said earlier about the video that Leicester did, it shows that he's obviously, I know he's only 20, 21, he's such a mature...
21 on Thursday.
21 this week, indeed, 21 this week. He's such a mature guy for his age as well, and he's obviously got his head screwed on, and he's enjoying playing football, full-time football as well, first team full-time football. So listen, he probably does need a start now. Like, I know he started last week and he did very, very well. I would like to see him start. Hearts, which we're not previewing now, but I actually wonder if we maybe do need to play him as well as Brad and Dylan potentially.
Would you flood the midfield for Hearts, would you?
I think we need to look at something, because Hearts...
Would you go 3-5-2 then? And then play wing back if you're. Do you just drop the 10? Do you drop Calvin?
Yeah, that was more what I was.
Right,
more
so drop the 10 and just have like pack it 4-5-1 kind of.
Yeah, that's more kind of where my head's at. And the other issue, I think we need to. Again, I know we're not previewing it yet, but I just think like nothing's working up front now since Ross got injured. And it's not to say Brian's having a bad run.
No, I just don't think Brian's. I mean. Brian's just not getting service into him, I don't think. And, you know, like Ross is a bit more mobile than Brian. He's a bit better with his back to go, I would say, Ross as well. I mean, Brian comes into his own. When you saw that flick, when he's in and around that box and the ball's falling to him in the box, you know, there was a beautiful little layoff that I think it was for Brad, when Brad had that shot when Brian took it in and just laid it off, and that's where Brian comes into his own. But in terms of like flick-ons and stuff, and Brian, by the way, again, I'll say it again, that Brian defensively is brilliant. See, at corners and defending set pieces, he's really, really good at that. But we are missing just that little impetus. However, we do have a striker who's again scored in Dunfermline's defeat yesterday. That's what you want. I said that, Ross. If he scores and Dunfermline are getting beaten, that's the golden opportunity. That's the golden thing there. So, Mr. Stewart, please come back in January. That would be. You know, I have heard rumours that Dunfermline tried to put a bid in for him. So
I don't think Falkirk would sell him anyway. But also, I do think he'll be back. But we've got how many games have we still got between
Hearts,
them? 3?
Dundee, Kilmarnock, 3.
Yeah, so we need to get through these 3 games.
If Brian's picked up an injury, I don't know. It's going to be Alfie. That's our only option.
It has to be Alfie.
It has to be Alfie. And I do think, again, I would start Alfie against Hearts. If you are making that suggestion that we pack out the midfield, you need that outball in Alfie. You need that pace in behind and that power in behind.
Well, either Kyrell potentially is an option there as well.
Again, I don't think Kyrell's a number 9. I don't think Alfie's a number 9 saying that, but I do think just with his physicality, Alfie offers you a bit more in terms of height.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
So, I'll be interested to see how we line up against Hearts, but we will preview that later on in the week. This Thursday, we'll have a look at that. But let's hear right now what John McGlynn had to say on the match.
John, a disappointing one this afternoon. How would you sum up the game?
Yeah, well, let's break the game down a little bit. We kind of anticipated to come under pressure early on. Hibs have lost the last 2 games and they're at home to ourselves, who are a newly promoted team, and suppose they'll be looking at this as a great opportunity to get 3 points. We knew we were going to come under pressure, and I felt that we dealt with that pressure. In 33 minutes, 34 minutes, whenever we lost that goal. Up until then, we had dealt with corner kicks, free kicks, and obviously there's a bit of pressure comes to conceding corner kicks and free kicks. So we were under a little bit of pressure. Both goals, we're makers of our own downfall. We lose the ball deep in our own half and we get punished. So that's obviously disappointing. That's Hibs. We're going to obviously, tactically, that's what they would do. They would come and press us and try to win the ball back high, and from that point of view, they've done well. We could have used the ball better. Quite simply, we could have used the ball better, in which case we would have been still very much in the game, because if you look at the stats in the game, there's nothing in the game, absolutely nothing. It's not a 3-0, but we all know there's only one stat that matters, and that's the goals for and against. And so second half I thought we were much better. We say Hibs put an awful lot of work into the first half. Could they keep that going? Could we do better? Well, I think in the second half we were much better, and probably Hibs couldn't keep that going. So we get ourselves a goal, which looking at our monitor, it looked like a perfectly good goal. I thought it was onside. Obviously, we don't have the lines, so it's always difficult to tell. So that goal, being allowed rather than disallowed, could have made a huge difference. A great goal. Ethan Ross took it particularly well. It's a great ball forward, and that could have changed the game. You know, we were very much on top. And as I say, getting that goal could have turned the mood in the stadium, could have given us a huge lift, and we may have come out of here with a point or something. We were 2-0 down against Hibs earlier in the season and came back, and it was, potentially on today if we'd got that goal. There's only one, I think it is one shot on target difference between the two teams. All the stats are suggesting that it's not a 3-0. So we're not going to beat up our players at all. They put everything into the second half. You get caught in a body in a channel when you're pushing forward, and that can happen. So we take it on the chin, we lick our wounds. We've got a good number of points on the board. Coming to these places are never ever going to be easy. But again, we've outpassed Hibs today. We've got more passes in than them, and I think there's still a lot to be positive about.
Yeah, I think John said it there. There's still a lot to be positive about. It wasn't a 3-0 game. I don't think it was a 3-0 game at any point.
No, it didn't feel one-sided. A 3-0 defeat usually tends to suggest that it's been a bit of a comfortable afternoon. I don't know if Hibs would say it was a comfortable first half to a degree, but they did score their two goals fairly late on in the first half. I think had they scored early doors, you could maybe say, yeah, they've controlled the full game, but I don't think that was quite the case. I love John there though. He must have, how many sayings did he get in there? Lick our wounds, take it on the chin. I'm sure there was another couple in there as well. So he's been thinking about that. But
wee quarter zip as well. I was trying to work out what label he was wearing. I couldn't quite see on the wee zip what the label was. A wee quarter zip number though. A nice little white t-shirt underneath it as well, looking beautiful.
Absolutely.
I had the goose on yesterday. He didn't have it on.
No, he didn't.
Have a wee on yesterday.
On yesterday, he did. Yeah.
I know. But I think John. I don't think he's going to beat up the players after that performance, and they were having their night out in Dublin last night as well, which they fully deserve after the first half of the season.
On 100%. No one should be beating them up, and I have to I know Evan. Maybe I don't know if Evan heard it as well. There was minimal moaning at half time and full time, and you just feel like saying to people that are booing, "Shut the fuck up!"
Did anyone? No one booed.
John, genuinely, there was only a couple, but you heard it honestly, and it's just, what is wrong with people? I know we don't like losing, right? But come on, we've done so well this season, and you just feel like, get a grip. And the vast majority of the fans stayed. In fact, all of the fans stayed to the end, but a good chunk of the fans clapped the players off at full time as well, which was deserving, because they had put a shift in. It's been a tough 6 days. We're 7th in the league now, 6th joint if you look at the goal difference. We're in a great place. Fantastic place.
Absolutely. Well, let's hear what you had to say about the match. Kenny kicks us off, saying nothing to worry about, just a game too far with 3 hard games in 6 days. Whole week for the lads to relax in Dublin, then reset for Saturday, ready to go again. Punching well above our weight, so always going to be bumps in the road, especially against the better teams. Couldn't say the better myself, Kenny. Paul says, really poor show by the refs today. I don't know if the referee had that bad a game, but I thought he was all right. But was it Matthew McDermott yesterday? I think it was. But I
suppose if you look at the two big incidents, and obviously I've not watched it back, right? But for me, obviously the penalty that they've been given, the one we've not got, it's tough at the time, but in retrospect, he's probably not had the worst of games.
No complaints from me, except the linesman not putting his flag up and giving us a bit of false hope.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. That's true. No, Paul goes on, no, this wasn't the reason we lost. Passing was way off and didn't have any real attacking threat. Plenty of effort from the players, but many looked knackered. Hopefully a rest and refocus for the Hearts game next week. Again, like I think the last couple of games in the final third, we've struggled a wee bit. And I don't know if that's the guys that are playing that final third, the final ball, just the decision making that final third. I think the last game against Motherwell and Rangers, I think they've been a wee bit off. But
Yeah, and listen, I genuinely think we are missing Ross McKeever, and that's a huge compliment to Ross. I know he's not back anytime soon, but if we can just, I think John McGlynn will have a wee plan in his mind for January.
Barney Army.
Barney Army is definitely one of them. He may have others. Who knows?
Yeah.
You never know.
Ali says 3 big games in 6 days were a stretch too far. Hopefully we bounce back like after the defeat against Celtic. Grant says simply outclassed, they were sharper, stronger, faster, etc. Nothing to be ashamed of. It's levels we should have ambition to reach. Yep, quite right. Tam says not our best today. 4 yellow cards in 35 minutes. Maybe heavy legs having played 3 games in less than 7 days. Not an excuse, just how it was as we adjust to life in the Premiership. Recover well and move on to the next game. Yeah, our discipline in terms of our yellow cards, I think all the yellow cards we got were all yellow cards. I don't think there was many arguments against it.
I've just remembered something. I'm going to moan about the ref because, but you're right, the fouls that we got were fouls and they were yellow cards, right? But Hibs had very similar fouls.
Yeah, there was one or two. Yeah, there was one or two. I was like, well, why is that yellow? And then that was, fairness to you, Ross, you're right, absolutely.
That annoyed me. Yeah.
Colin says, bad day at the office was bound to happen sooner rather than later. 3 games in 6 days with so many players out was always going to be a challenge. Poor first half, always going to make the second difficult. On to a massive home game next Saturday and hopefully bounce back. Come on, ye Bairns. Hibs Central, been in touch. I think that's one of the Hibs podcasts says, fair play on the numbers you brought through. Good support. It just goes to show you what we bring to this league, you know.
Phenomenal crowd yesterday.
Yeah, and our Hibs supporter Tariq says Falkirk are a great team. That score flattered us. So there you go. And KT says, not surprised, see the young lads were absolutely done at the end of Wednesday night's game. Rest up and get ready for the Jambos, who are wobbling right now. This was written before, obviously, they beat Celtic today, presumably, as well. So, yeah, they're not wobbling so much now, but it does set up for next. It's going to be very interesting. And finally, Shimima said, the ref was a total gimp. There we go. We'll just round it off with that. Right, okay, gentlemen, let's decide on the Falkirk Daft rated player for yesterday. It was currently standing. Actually, it's been a fair spread across the season. Philip Lisa is the only player that's got 2 awards so far this season. Who on that park deserves the Falkirk Daft rated, Ross Wayne?
For me, for his overall contribution, I thought he came in and did really well, and he took his goal well as well, so I'm going to say Ethan Ross.
Ethan Ross. Yeah. Evan's nodding in agreement. Is it going to Ethan Ross?
Henry Cartwright for me, actually. Yeah.
Ooh.
Totally changed the game. Completely changed.
I'm happy to back Henry, by the way, because I thought he did, like Evan says, he came on and he put his mark on that midfield, and maybe we would have lost by a higher margin had he not came on. So I'm happy to give that the back. And
listen, it's our guess, and because I'm honestly, I'd be 50-50. It's either Ethan Ross or Henry Cartwright to me, but I love Henry's arse, so we'll give it to Henry. And Ethan hasn't won one yet, but that's 2 now for Henry. For
what was Henry's last one? Was it the Rangers game?
Rangers at home. Rangers at home. So well done, Henry, and happy birthday when it comes to you on Thursday. That's the greatest birthday present you will receive. Your Falkirk Daft rated player of the week. Fantastic. Dafty, who have we got?
I can't think of it. Have you got one, Evan? I've not got. I don't think I've got one.
Struggling, but again, maybe the linesman just for giving us that moment of hope when he was quite clearly offside in the end. But yeah, I don't know.
Linesman for giving false hope. I'll take that one.
Yeah. Just as a special mention, he doesn't deserve Dafty of the Week because he doesn't deserve any recognition. But as I mentioned earlier, we were sitting right beside the segregation. Why is there always one opposition supporter who has no intention of watching the game, and all they want to do is moan or have a go at the other crowd. Like there was this absolute muppet in the Hibs side, and he genuinely did not shut the fuck up all the way through the game. And then there was Falkirk fans rising to his bait as well. And you just think, come on, like just watch your team. You're winning 2-0 at that point, and all he's done is have a go at the Falkirk fans. And it takes a special kind of moron to do that, in my opinion. So I just want to give my shout out.
Right, shout out to the moron who just shouted at the Falkirk supporters. There we go. Brilliant. Oh, that's us rounded up just about. But before we go, let's do Falkirk Daft Versus. And I believe it's back to Matt. It can't be my turn again, surely.
It might not be, but I've got the questions anyway.
Right, okay.
So,
Well,
Evan, you are up against John.
I got beat at Falkirk Daft Live. I was raging about that. It was me and McGill versus you and Sammy, and I got beat. I was absolutely raging about that.
Team Ginger won it that night.
Ginger won that night. So that's the first time. Good luck, Evan. Ross has the 5 questions. Let's go.
I do indeed. Yep. So, John, you're going to write your questions down. Evan, once John has written something down, and only after he's written something down, I'll come to you for your answer, if that's all right. So, gents, question number 1 then, and John loves this type of question.
Oh, see, there's a shot number.
Who has the highest shirt number in the squad this season? So who has the highest shirt number in the squad this season?
Jesus. I think that is...
And I have checked, it is definitely.
Okay, yeah, I've got an answer.
You've got something written down. Okay, Evan, we're going to come to you.
Could end up being one of the sort of youth players, but I've got Ogden Sui.
And what number is he? Can you remember?
47.
You're saying 47. John McAnally?
I went Scott Arfield, 37.
It's Evan 1-0. Ogden Sui, number 47. I thought John, you might have got that. The other alternative, Sam Hart's number 42. He's got quite a high one as well.
Right, okay.
So that's 1-0 to Evan. Okay, question number 2. Falkirk have 3 players, all on 3 league goals this season. Who are the 3 players?
Oh, get all 3?
All 3. So Falkirk have 3 players on all 3 league goals. Are all on 3 league goals this season. But who are the 3 players?
Okay, I've got an answer written down here.
You've got something there. Okay, Evan, we'll come to your good self.
Gone Brian Graham, Calvin Miller, and Ross McKeever.
I have gone for the exact same. McKeever, Miller, Graham.
Point apiece. 2-1, Evan. Good job, guys. Well done. Okay. Question number 3. We're obviously playing Hearts this weekend, so we've got a Hearts question. Lewis Nielsen is obviously on loan from Hearts.
Fuck, I forgot we've got Lewis Nielsen. Jesus Christ almighty. I completely forgot about him.
But who was the last person to have signed either permanently or on loan from Hearts prior to Lewis Nielsen signing this summer? So Lewis Nielsen is currently on loan from Hearts, but who was the last person to have signed either permanently or on loan from Hearts prior to that?
Okay, I've got an answer.
Okay. Come to Evan. What are you thinking?
I'm struggling, but I'll go Andy Irvine.
Andy Irvine.
Good shout.
Not too bad. John McAnally.
Callum Morrison.
Callum Morrison was the second last player prior to this person, so no points for either of you. You're going to hate me with this one. It was Lewis Nielsen, who was on loan in March 2020.
Oh, that is bullshit. That is total bullshit.
I asked you who was the last player who was currently on loan or signed permanently from Hearts. And it was Lewis.
Well played. Well played.
Suck.
Yeah. So Callum had signed in 2020, and then Lewis Nielsen was 2021. So it's still 2-1 to Evan. Okay, here we go. It's another Hearts one. So we last played Hearts at home in August 2024 in the League Cup. But can you name who was sent off that day for Falkirk? So we last played Hearts at home in August 2024 in the League Cup. But who was sent off that day for the Bairns?
Got an answer.
Okay, that was quick. Evan, come to you.
Dylan Tate.
You're going for Dylan Tate. John McAnally.
Was it Ryan Shanley?
It was Ryan Shanley in the
Jesus.
injury time. It was.
Yes.
He literally got subbed on, and if you remember, he karate kicked somebody. I can't remember who, but
It was
yes.
really late and then someone
Yeah. So 2-2 then. Heading into
Oh,
question
it's
five.
going down to the final question.
And I think you'll both get this one. How many players in the current Hearts squad have played for Falkirk? So how many players in the current Hearts squad have played for Falkirk?
We're excluding Lewis Nielsen, presumably, from this
Lewis
question.
Nielsen is not included in
Just
this.
checking, just because I know what you like, because you seem to be obsessed with Lewis Nielsen.
Can I tell you, I thought about including him, and then I thought that's
Ah,
harsh.
you arse.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Whilst John's thinking,
I've
Evan,
got him. I'm done.
Have you got one? Right, okay. Evan, have you got an answer?
Can't think past one. Yeah, it's got to be one.
You're going for
I've
one.
written one as well.
Both correct. Stephen Kingsley. Absolutely. Yeah, no one else. 100% no one else. Okay, so it means, what's that, 3-3? And we are going to the tiebreaker.
Good game, Evan. Good game.
It has been a good game. Obviously, closest to with it.
Apart from his shite Lewis Nielsen question, I would have won otherwise.
I have the official away crowd from yesterday. What was it? So you need to give me a number. What was the official away crowd yesterday?
Oh, away crowd.
Away crowd yesterday. And whoever's closest will get the win.
I've written down a number.
Okay. Evan, come to you.
I'll go 1,930.
1930. Okay. John, what have you written
I
down?
went 1973.
Wow. One of these is absolutely bang on the money. And it's John McAnally, Falkirk Daft.
Do you know why? Because I
How?
saw Jamie Swinney tweeted it out earlier on.
Did he? Oh, okay. Damn it.
Yes!
Damn it.
Oh,
Damn it. Yes, play that Champions League music then, John. Well done.
sorry, Evan. I full disclosure, I did see Jamie had tweeted that. Yes.
You know what? I saw the tweet as well. But we were on a level playing field. I just forgot. So
Aye.
fair play to you.
Very well done. Well done, guys. That was a good one, though.
Nice one. Good game, Evan. Listen, thanks for coming on. You'll need to come back on again. Great chat with you. And if you see Evan kicking about, it's not Sean Mackie. It is Evan that'll be in the stands and not Sean Mackie. But listen, thanks for coming on, Falkirk Daft. Really appreciate it, Evan.
That was great. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Evan there. Great pundit. Really enjoyed his chat there. Yeah, so that's us for this week's edition of Falkirk Daft. Before we go though, we've always got to take time to thank you very much to the Falkirk football fans and training. They've been supporting the podcast the last couple of years. Again, thanks to Ian for all his donations to the auction we did for Be Heard charity at Falkirk Daft Live. He gave us so much stuff that we've actually got stuff left over from the next one, and really nice bottle of whiskey and an Aidan Nesbitt frame top, which we'll hold over to next Falkirk Daft Live. So thanks again to Ian and the boys who are always supporting the podcast. And if you want to support them, get involved with the T8s. They meet on a Wednesday, 8:30 to 9:30. They've got the Elite Academy and Legends section, as well as the new over 50s section. Anyone is welcome down. They're a great bunch of boys. Get yourself a wee kickabout, get yourself, I mean, it's coming up to the new year, everyone's got resolutions where they try and get fit again, so why not get down, have a game of football, help your mental health, have a laugh with the boys, and just get down to the stadium. Wednesday, 8:30 to 9:30, and the inaugural Kelpies Cup is happening next year. Details TBC. But yeah, all details for Ian, Willie, or Dougie are below. So get in touch with the boys, get involved with the Falkirk football fans in training. And that's it for this week's Falkirk Daft. Onwards to Hearts now. Ross, we'll have a preview show. Hopefully, we're speaking to Mr. Cameron. If not, we've got a couple of other irons in the fire that we can go to. Someone did say, do you want to invite you into the 1876 lounge? on Saturday, and I'm like, do I really? I don't know if I want to put myself through that. I'll be honest with you, but I will wait and see about that. But I've got my lads' day out, lads' Christmas day out. So if you are coming to the 1876 lounge and I'm on the mic, be warned. That's all I'll say. Ross might be doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
I think I may be this weekend, yes.
When it comes to talking to the players and whatnot, because I'll just be asking random questions. If Henry Cartwright comes on, how magnificent is your arse, by the way, Henry? That'll be that kind of level of banter. So, have it yourself a great time. And it's, by the way, can you imagine what it's going to be like on Saturday? Like, it's going to be wild.
It's going to be wild.
I don't know. I've heard rumours the fan zone's open at like 12 o'clock. I've heard people, they're going out like at 12 o'clock for the day and making it their kind of Christmas day. Like, it's going to be wild. Absolutely.
I think there will be a lot of sore heads on Sunday morning after this weekend. 1876 Lounge is full, so we have a busy night again. Brilliant at Motherwell. I know we talked about that last week, but it was another good evening in the lounge.
Yeah,
and I'm sure Hearts is not going to be any different. And how amazing would it be coming into the lounge after picking up a point or three as well?
It would be good. It would be absolutely brilliant. Like you say, they had a good result today, but we've got nothing to fear. They're a good side.
We're at home. Let's give them a go.
We're at home. Let's give them a go. Give it a go. And remember, like I said earlier on, if you're wanting to buy Christmas presents, merch.falkirkdaft.co.uk. Lots of great T-shirts and stuff up there. And Pints and Prints as well. Gordon, smashing it in the park. I noticed he's done a lot of cool Scotland stuff as well recently. So just bought something for my boy for his Christmas from that. So there's a spoiler alert, Finlay, if you're listening to this. But yeah, you could get on pintsandprints.co.uk. Check out the Falkirk Daft collection. A lot of great stuff up there. And remember, the Discord channel is still going on. I've not been on it in a week or so, but the kids in there love a bit of chat and a bit of banter. So it's like a forum that you can just get on. It's what all the cool kids are doing, not forums now. They just jump on a Discord channel and have a laugh. I noticed there's a guy in there, Boston Bairns, he's called. He's been inundated, surprisingly, in the last 24 hours with a lot of people asking about accommodation for Boston.
I bet he has. How many couches has he got?
I know, exactly. So we're all going to Boston Bairns' house, one for Scotland as well. So we'll wait to see about that. But listen, thank you very much for listening. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. And until then,
expect unexpected, buddy. Money Bairns.
We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft, talking about the dark blues and having a bit of a laugh. We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft. You can listen in the pub or you can listen in the bath. We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft. For everyone who's caring about being a Falkirk Bairn, we're Falkirk Daft. We are Falkirk Daft.